What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Bud Crawford is 38 wins, no losses, no draw, 29 big wins by way of knockout. He is 34 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, Terence Crawford weighs in on his biggest rival in undefeated, unified welterweight IBF WBC world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 3 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is 27 wins, no losses, no draw, 21 big wins by way of knockout. He is 32 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, Errol Spence is going into a highly anticipated unification showdown with WBA, World Boxing Association, welterweight world champion, Cuban star boxer, YORDENIS Ugas, who is 27 wins, 4 losses, no draw, 12 wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. With that said, Terence Crawford, he weighs in. The fight is scheduled to take place tonight, Arlington, Texas, AT&T, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. And Terence Crawford, he sends Errol Spence a warning and lets Terence Crawford know, and lets Errol Spence know, you got to be careful with this dude. He looks like the guy from Captain Phillips, okay? If you don't know the movie Captain Phillips, okay, it was about, you know, pirates taking over a ship, okay? And the dude got on the ship, and he told the captain of the ship that I'm the captain now, okay? I'm taking over. I'm the captain now, okay? So he says that Terence Crawford says that YORDENIS Ugas looks like the guy from Captain Phillips, okay? This is a well-respected movie. It's a classic, you know, you know, it's a movie made back in 2013, you know. It's a very classic movie, okay? It's about, again, it's about, you know, a guy taking over, you know, a crew of pirates. It's with Tom Hanks, and the character he's referring to is Bulkhead Abdi, okay? So it's Bulkhead Abdi, you know, that's the character that Terence Crawford is referring to. His name was Muse on the movie, okay? Tom Hanks' character is Captain Richards, okay? So his name was Moose on the movie, and Tom Hanks' character was Captain Richards, okay? So they was pirates at sea, you know, and they was taking over the shipment. And so he got on the boat, and he had the famous line, "I'm the captain now," okay? So I'm taking over. I'm the captain now, okay? You know, I'm taking over the reins. So, you know, Terence Crawford is warning Errol Spence, you know, he looked like that dude. He looked like he coming to take over the reins, and he gonna say, you know, he's the captain now. You know what I mean? So I thought that was comical of Terence Crawford to say that. Obviously, you know, people gonna take it wrong, you know, because of YORDENIS Ugas' situation, and because of how the character Moose looked in the movie, you know, so obviously people going to take it and, you know, make it more than what it is. But, you know, I look at it on surface deep, and I think that Terence Crawford was just simply saying that, you know, he resembled that guy, that character, and then, you know, it's a very risky situation and fight for Errol Spence Jr., because obviously the biggest fight in the sport of boxing is Errol Spence, you know, versus Terence Bud Crawford. You know what I mean? So, you know, I took it with a grain of salt. Thought it was a little humor in it. You know, obviously Terence Crawford has a history with YORDENIS Ugas. He lost to YORDENIS Ugas in the amateurs. Obviously, everybody wants to see Terence Crawford face off against Errol Spence. That's the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. So, you know, clearly there's going to be, you know, somewhat of a tension there, right? And you know, this is a big fight because, again, there's 3 belts is on the line, okay? You know, the WBA belt, the WBC IBF on Errol Spence's part, and you know, the big fight between Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, that's on the line, right? So you gotta, you gotta take care of the task at hand first before, you know, you can't put the carriage before the horse, right, so to speak. So you can't, you know, dismiss Yordenis Ugas. You know, that's how I'm taking it. Terence Crawford has said this before. You know, he stated that, you know, Yordenis Ugas is a very tough fight. You know, Yordenis Ugas, you know, like I said, he beat Terence Crawford in the amateurs. He's nobody's walk in the park. And Terence Crawford, he stated that Yordenis Ugas can derail the plans of the massive fight between the two of them. You know, if Errol Spence, he's picking Errol Spence to be victorious, but if you're not careful and not focused, and you looking past Yordenis Ugas and dismissing and underestimating Yordenis Ugas, you could be in for a huge upset. You know, and so with that said, you know, I thought that was hilarious. You know, I find the humor in it. You know, some people may not, some people will. If you're familiar with the movie Captain Phillips, then you know you would understand the correlation. If you have a sense of humor, you would understand the correlation. And if you understand the serious and the nature of this fight and what's at stake, then you will understand where Terence Crawford is coming from as well. Now, I know a lot of people are simply not happy with the fact that Terence Crawford is not going to be in attendance, because should Errol Spence win, everybody was expecting to see, possibly at the very least, you know, Terence Crawford being in attendance, being interviewed and being asked about the future possible showdown, or at the highest expectations, people was expecting maybe Terence Crawford actually gets in the ring with Errol Spence, come face to face and begin to promote the fight. I'm of the latter. I believe that Terence Crawford should be in attendance. I believe that, you know, it would be important, it would be historic, it would be legendary, it would be epic, you know, it would be monumental for both guys and their legacies. But on the flip side, I understand Terence Crawford's loyalty, commitment to his fighters. He's a trainer as well as a fighter. He has his own promotional company he's trying to build up, Terence Bud Crawford Promotions. And, you know, he's committed to a lot of fighters that are up and coming, you know, that are looking to make a name for themselves, and a lot of fighters that look up to him, okay, and want to be where Terence Crawford is, okay? They want to be considered the pound for pound best fighter in the world, you know, at one point in time. They want to be considered, you know, Terence Crawford has knocked out and stopped his last 9 opponents, okay? You know, people just want to be, you know, viewed in the same light as Terence Crawford, okay? A lot of fighters, okay? So, you know, the bar is high, the expectations is high for Terence Crawford, and many people, they want to be where Terence Crawford is, and they strive to, you know, young upcoming fighters, they strive to be where Terence Crawford is, and not just young upcoming fighters, but Terence Crawford has a lot of already accomplished, already established fighters that, you know, look to him, you know, and so now he has a card that's coming up tonight, as well as obviously Errol Spence, Yordenis Ugas is tonight. So Terence Crawford, he has a card coming up with fighters that are fighting tonight. And he's choosing to be there and support them, opposed to putting his own self ahead of them, which is, you know, many people are, you know, complaining, and they are saying that Terence Crawford needs to be in attendance. Terence Crawford, you know, this is an epic moment. But ironically, when it comes to undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, and his situation with retired legendary Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer Floyd Money Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions, and Floyd Mayweather not being in attendance because Floyd Mayweather has his own announcement that he's coming back, and you know, he's going to fight in Dubai May 14th, and he had a press conference the same day, and he chose to attend that press conference over his support for Gervonta Tank Davis and overshadowing Gervonta Tank Davis. So again, if Terence Crawford was to attend Errol Spence fight tonight, he would clearly overshadow what's going on with his fighters and their card. Obviously, it's a much smaller card, so he would clearly overshadow that and their growth, right? Because him being in attendance at their fight lends credence and co-signs these guys and their abilities moving forward. So you got to look at it a glass half full. I respect Terence Crawford's decision. I would personally, as a fan, as a boxing pundit and a media member and a journalist in the sport of boxing, it gives me something to write about, gives me something to talk about, it gives me something to report on, right? But I can respect the other side, Terence Crawford as a man and his loyalty. So and standing on the square. So salute to Terence Crawford for that. But again, I expect Errol Spence to be victorious, and I have my prediction a little bit later on for y'all. But yeah, Terence Crawford, he says that Errol Spence gotta be on his P's and Q's, because Yordenis Ugas looks like the guy from Captain Phillips that said, "This is my ship now. I'm the captain now." Thought that was hilarious. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.